So people will try this again. This is the Police Service of Northern Ireland, Carrickfergus. Now, for all you British auditors, this is not a heavy secure place. Not for Northern Ireland. This is quite unintimidating, this one. The Police Service of Northern Ireland used to be the Royal Ulster Constabulary. It originally started as a Royal Irish Constabulary. Then, in partition, when the Republic broke away, they didn't like the word royal. So they formed the Garda Síochána. And the boys in the north could no longer associate with Ireland, so they called it Ulster, as the ancient Kingdom of Ulster we are. Now, after the Good Friday Belfast Agreement, the Nationalists really didn't like Ulster, the Royal Ulster Constabulary. They complained there was so much hatred, there was so much abuse, there was so much blah blah blah, that they demanded the name be changed to the Police Service of Northern Ireland. Now we have lost something, because I remember in my youth you could chant SSRUC. It rhymed. You can't chant SSPSNI. It doesn't have the same ring to it. So this is sunny Carrickfergus. As you can see on the lamppost, the Union Jack and the Ulster flag. The red hand is the symbol of, I think it was two brothers, ancient kings, were fighting for control of the land, and they had a race, and whoever put his hand on the ground first became king. He owned it. So what he did, he was losing, he chopped his hand off and threw it ashore ahead of his brother. So technically he won the race. Many nice stories I got in this little country. You have to excuse the noise, but this is a very busy coastal route. This, as you see, the very old harbour. The Marine Highway leads up to Carrickfergus Castle. Whoops. 1,000 years old. I think it was De Courcy built it. Anglo-Saxon. People have been fighting against the British for 1,000 years in Ireland, Northern Ireland. It's reputed that King William of Orange landed there on his way to overthrow King James II of England. Most people don't realise King James was King William's father-in-law. Go figure. My father-in-law ex was alright. So that started the latest 400 years of conflict between Roman Catholic and Protestant, which is also unusual because, as everybody knows, the Protestant faith was started by Martin Luther, a German priest. And it's not Protestant. The word is Protestant, because Martin Luther protested against the Roman Catholic Church. He went to the chapel, he nailed his list of protests on the chapel door. And over the years, Protestant has become Protestant. This is to symbolise the Bruce, the Anglo-Saxons. This is called Scotch Quarter in Carrickfergus. And as you can see, some sculptor or welder has been paid a fortune by another council to waste taxpayers' money. But mind you, get rid of a lot of old scrap iron, I suppose. So So the whole way along the Marine Highway we have Union Jacks and Ulster flags. People can't understand, they keep telling me, but that's one island, why blah 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 blah. When they tell me, but it's one island, you're all Irish. Try telling a Welshman it's one island, he's just English. Or a Scotsman. See what happens to your one island theory. The only time the four kingdoms of Ulster, Munster, Leinster and Connacht were united was under British rule. British domination, British control, whatever you want to call it. So this idea that it's one island, we should be united, we should blah blah blah, is basically historically incorrect, because they say we should be united again, we should be a united Ireland. We were never united. Even in the ancient mythology and the tales of the Fenian Knights, it was the Ulstermen that were basically kicking 3 bags of shite out of the rest of them. The boy called, I think it was Colin. Don't know how you pronounce it in the Gaelic. So, there you go. 2 cultures, 2 religions, 2 histories. It's a lot more complicated than most people think. It's a bit like the Jews and the Muslims. But as you can see, Carrickfergus on a good day is a beautiful little city. And strangely enough, as you can also see, in recent history, we had all sorts of trouble and real terrorists. Not this, oh, there is a heightened situation in this day and age, in the current climate that you boys get. We actually had it. Our own boys bombing and shooting and blowing the crap out of people. I just walked past a highly secured police station taking pictures. Nobody said boo. I'm walking slowly along here. No police cars chasing me down to demand who I am, what I am. It's just a lovely, normal fucking day. And I have to tell you, even when us crazy Ulstermen and Irish were fighting and knocking 3 bags of shite out of each other, this wee country was safer at the height of the troubles than London will ever be. Yeah, so just think about that. And finally, after 20 years of peace, the country's starting to come together. Money's being developed. Even Carrickfergus Castle is being developed as a tourist attraction. And a bit that pisses me off with that, which is another story by itself, it's the Northern Ireland Tourist Board was given the Tourism Ireland in the Republic, a different country. It was given to our nearest competition. And not only was the Tourist Board given away to a foreign power as part of the Good Friday Agreement, there's a proviso that the Northern Ireland Tourist Board cannot, oh sorry, it's now Tourism Northern Ireland to sound like Tourism Ireland. There's a proviso they're not allowed to advertise outside Northern Ireland. We all know what's here. You know, we've lived here. We know how beautiful this country is. What a fucking load of bollocks. So anyway, chaps, that's my first little walk around. Maybe later tomorrow I will go and annoy some police in Belfast. They're a little bit more paranoid, shall we say. We'll say paranoid. That was a good word. So, remember, I'm a cunt. Independent Media Association covering news topics. And I will kick ass. Oh look, that was a police wagon past me and they didn't even stop. They didn't look at me sideways. That's great. So, ching ching.